Alright, welcome back to the Net Trades YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to discuss the impact difference between taking losses and taking trading wins. So I'm sure you guys have realized this in your own trading, but typically when we take wins, we feel good about it, but the impact doesn't last very long. Versus when we take losses, you're probably still thinking about that loss even hours after the trading day ends, especially if you take a big loss or a significant loss, or you're in a trading drawdown. You're thinking about it all the time. If I have a big red day, I'll be watching YouTube videos even after the market closes for hours and hours, trying to better my strategy, try to fix what I did wrong. And I'm angry and I'm sad and I'm motivated. There's a lot of but you just get a lot of more emotions when you take a loss versus when you take a winning trade. Like I said, you feel good about it, but the next day you're back at it and you want more wins, right? And there's this really good quote I found the other day, so I'm gonna read it to you guys because I think it kind of relates to this. It says, happiness is a gift and the trick is not to expect it but to delight in it when it comes. And again, I think and the reason I bring this up is because I feel that's kind of the process and the reason why we're impacted more by negative trades. It's because we don't expect to take negative trades, right? When you enter a trade, you're not expecting it to be a loss, and we kind of come to expect to always win, because we put all this time into trading. Usually it's going to be hours and hours into preparation, into planning our trades, into perfecting our strategy, into watching YouTube videos, learning about technical analysis, creating our watch list, all this stuff. We spend all this time and energy, and so when it comes time to take trades, we expect to have positive results. That's the reason we put all this work in. And so if we don't get those results we kind of come to expect, it's gonna be a lot more of an impact. It's gonna be more of like a, what the fuck, dude, I just spent all this time doing this and I get a loss, I'm losing money. Like, obviously, and it's normal to have this reaction, but you're gonna be fucking pissed. You're gonna be like, holy shit, bro, after all this and I get this in return. And it's normal to have these reactions, but sometimes these reactions can have negative impacts. Like, if you take a negative trade, it'll have like a domino effect, and that'll cause more negative trades if you let it impact you too negatively. So that's why I wanted to create this video, to give you guys two different methods of how to decrease the negative impact from losing trades, and actually how to increase the positive impact from winning trades. Because who wouldn't want to feel good taking winning trades and making progress in their trading career? So let's get right into it. So the way to actually minimize the impact of losing trades is to take more losses. And I know this sounds kind of counterintuitive, but you want to purposefully take losses. So hear me out. So part of rewiring your brain to not think of losses to be the end of the world, right? To, like, next time you take a big loss, you don't want it to have as big of an impact. Well, the way to decrease that impact is to condition yourself to be more accepting of them, by having them occur more frequently. And how are you going to have them more frequently? Well, you're going to intentionally and purposefully take more losses. And so, like I talked about, I used to be a victim of getting overconfident when I would go on these big win streaks, and my ego would start inflating and I would feel like I would have control over the market. So I would really come to expect wins. And so whenever a loss came around, it was hard to accept it. It was fucking hard, because you're like, oh, I'm usually right. This trade, it's down my stop loss, but I'm not going to take the loss because I think, in your head, you think, oh, I'm better than this. I deserve to win. I put in all this work. Afterwards, it might sound irrational, but we're very emotional as humans. And when you're actually in a trade, things can happen very fast. And even if you hesitate on taking a loss for like a minute or something, that loss can double in that time. And then that leads to even more frustration. You're even more upset. And that can lead to very bad things like oversizing, over trading, and all this stuff that is just gonna mess up your focus and your trading. And trading is already hard as it is. Like, it requires you to be on your E game 100%. And if you start getting messed up emotionally, it's just gonna be that much harder to actually trade well. So we want to avoid that. And we want to do that by making losses frequent, so that when they occur, they have less of an impact on us, because we're like, it's just another loss. We've experienced this hundreds of times, whatever. And by purposefully taking losses, I don't mean like you have to take big losses on purpose. Like, that's not what I'm telling you to do. What I'm telling you to do is, for example, let's say you've been on a winning streak. You just had 10 green trades in a row, and you kind of realize that you're getting a little bit too confident. So let's say the next trade you take, you enter it, and the stop loss you had in mind that you planned for the trade was 10%. So if the stock went down 10%, you would stop out, take the loss, and you were okay with taking that loss. Okay, but let's say you enter the trade and it's only down 1%, but you've been on this green streak, so you still so on purpose, what you decided to do is you decide to lock in that trade as a loss, as the 1% loss. That way you have a loss locked in, and if you had a green streak, it erases that green. And it might feel good to be on a green streak, but honestly, at least from my experience, having a green streak is actually can be a negative thing, because you start putting more importance on keeping the green streak than actually trading well, and this can lead to a multitude of mistakes. But yeah, again, you don't want to put an importance on the green streak, because going on a winning streak makes you that much more less accepting of losses, and that's not what we want to do. We want to become really accepting of losses. Another thing that I would do, I apply to my own trading, is that if I've been like on a win streak, like I said, maybe it's been 2 weeks and I haven't had a red day, and I start off the day with the loss. But if I notice that the day's not particularly promising, like we're getting choppy action, it doesn't look like it's going to be a trending day, there's not many trades I want to take, I'll just, after that, just that one loss or a couple losses starting the day, I'll just walk away and enjoy the rest of my day, take the day off basically. That way I'm able to lock in that red day and get rid of any streak I had, and again, make just losses a lot more frequent and a common occurrence. That way they have less of an impact on you. Want to assimilate yourself, I think that's the correct word, hopefully it is, to taking losses. It's kind of like let's say you're gonna get into a hot tub, right? You're not just gonna like cannonball right into the hot tub and get in. Like, you slowly dip your feet into it, and then once your feet are assimilated to the water, then you slowly get the rest of your body into the water. That's kind of like similar to what you want to do with losses. You want to become more accepting of them, and the way to do that is taking them and getting used to taking them. And so you can intentionally take losses, small losses here and there, to make sure that's happening. And like I said, at least for me, the green streak mentality was becoming like a toxic thing for me, in that it would really inflate my ego and confidence and make it hard to accept losses. Like, losses are already hard to accept, but if you're going on these green streaks and stuff like that, it becomes even harder to accept them. And especially for me, I have a big dependence on a high win rate. Like, I typically average an 80%, 90% win rate. So there's periods of time in my trading where I go 30 green trades in a row, 40 green trades in a row. And when you do that, right, you're just looking for it. You're like, okay, on 40 green trades in a row, I can probably hit 50. I can probably hit 60. And by thinking that way, you're becoming less accepting of losses, and you start putting more importance on this win streak that is really unimportant. Like one trade shouldn't have that much importance, or one day shouldn't have that much importance. 1 week shouldn't have that much importance. Now we start getting into months, then okay, yeah, monthly performance, you can review that. But a lot of times we're super hyper focused on every little like day, every little trade, and we put way too much importance on that, and we put not enough importance on the overall picture, like our weekly performance, our monthly performance. And like for me, I'm a very big like statistics guy, so I like to keep a bunch of Google Sheets. Like, if you know me as a trader, you know that I keep a whole bunch of Google Sheets open. I like to like track every little detail about my trading, and I think that's a good thing. But at the same time, it can lead you to become hyper focused on every little trade, and we don't want that. We want to be okay with not every trade being perfect, and not every trade has to be a win. So become more accepting of losses, and a way you can do this is by purposely / intentionally taking small losses here and there to minimize their effect on you. Like I said, everybody takes them, and they're inevitable. Reminder of that in a way that doesn't have to be taken. An oversized loss is always good. So especially for you guys, if you guys are finding that you're letting red trades have too big of an impact on you, you might want to try this out, and at least for me, it helped me out a lot on becoming more accepting of them. That way, next time a loss comes, I'm okay with taking that loss, because it's happened to me so many times, and my brain realizes that it's okay. One loss is not going to kill you. One loss is not going to destroy your account. At least it shouldn't, right? Take the power away from the losses by purposely taking losses. Now let's talk about how to increase the positive impact from winning trades, which is something we should all want. So It's very simple. All you have to do is you pay yourself. Actually withdraw profits from your account, especially after big win streaks or a period of really good performance. Take some of that profit out and actually realize it. This does a couple of good things. One, it minimizes the potential impact or slash damage that you can potentially self-inflict. Because obviously, if we're having a period of good performance, that means our account has grown. And as your account grows, you're going to start increasing the size you take in every trade. And so that means you're going to have bigger wins, but you're also going to have bigger losses. And sometimes if we're growing our account too fast, that can start happening too fast. And trading a bigger account is a bigger monster, a bigger beast. And sometimes we're not ready for that increase to happen that fast. So always slow down and take out some money if you've had a good performance. That way you're not rushing the process to growing your account, because very quickly I've seen people have very good performance for a while, and then again they get too overconfident, and since their account is a lot bigger now, their risk is higher, and a couple losses with that bigger account and you're back to square one. Like, fuck, I should have just taken some money out when I had the chance. So always take out profits after periods of really good performance. And also it's a positive thing because it makes the wins actually real. Like, it allows you to materialize the progress you've made. And a lot of times as traders, we're very ambitious people, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, we set these big goals like, oh, I want to have 7-figure account, I want to have an 8-figure account. But at the same time, a lot of times we don't allow ourselves to enjoy the process or the journey to get to that point, because we're just hyper focused on hitting that goal. And so we don't enjoy the progress. We don't reward ourselves during that journey up there. And we shouldn't do that. We should reward ourselves on the way there, because that can actually help you and motivate you to get to the goal a lot faster. And you'll actually enjoy the journey there and not just have a goal, be hyper focused on hitting that, don't reward yourself the whole entire journey. And then once you get there, you're like, okay, now I hit 7 figures. Now my goal is 8 figures, and nothing changes. So make sure you enjoy the journey and you reward yourself on the way there. And again, it just like makes the wins actually feel real, because they are real. But until you actually materialize it, if you still just leave the money there, the money's still at risk. Even if you're not actively putting it into trades, you can choose to actively put it into a trade at any moment, so it's still technically at risk. So withdraw profits and reward yourself, right? You deserve it. If you hit your first 4-figure day, reward yourself. Make these little milestones along the way, and again, it'll help those wins, their positive impact last a lot longer, and it'll help you, motivate you, and push you towards your next goal. And you'll prove to yourself that your system has actual merit, and you'll build actual confidence that's not overconfidence and all this stuff that you don't want. So yeah, those are the 2 things I would recommend to change the impact that trades can potentially have on you. And if you guys enjoyed this lesson or it helped you guys out, don't forget to leave a like on the video. It helps us reach other traders so they can learn and grow as traders from the free content that we have available to them. And also, just a quick reminder, if you guys are looking to join a trading community, maybe you want to meet new traders, or you just got into trading and you're looking for mentors or people to help you learn how to trade, look in the description down below. We have a link to the Nets Trades website where you can find more information about the Nets Trades community. We have a Discord server full of very talented and experienced traders that have 3, 4, 5 years of experience. And we also cover stuff like stocks, options, crypto, NFTs, and all that good stuff. Basically, if you're into money making, that's the place to be. So make sure to check it out if you're interested in that. But anyways, I don't want to waste any more of you guys' time. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. But other than that, it's been me, Zero, and I'm out. Peace.